Yo, what up everyone? Today I got another guide for you guys. This time we are taking a look on how to behave during a clutch situation and how to set yourself up in 1v3s to give yourself the best odds of winning a fight, even though you are the last man standing. As a side note though, every clutch situation is different and highly depends on how your enemies play. I will show you multiple examples on how I personally handle 1v3s, which applies to clutch situations or solo gameplay. And I will guarantee you that if you apply those strategies to your own gameplay, you will increase your clutch success rate in no time. As a quick summary here, I'm playing trios with Aegis and Gregorian Hipster. You guys should check them out on Twitch, leave a follow. But we are approaching Cyprus, the team is vanishing, and while vanishing, my teammates will go down, and then I will tell you guys exactly what I'm doing to enable my team to still win the game. Before I jump into some play-by-play commentary, I will list you guys my most important anchor points when clutching and what we are going to talk about in this video. The first thing we're going to talk about is the most important thing while clutching. It is isolating 1v1s. What does that mean, you might ask? It means that when you're fighting multiple opponents, you try to position yourself in a way that you are allowed to fight one person at a time. This can be achieved by utilizing hard or soft cover to break line of sight or using choke points to make it impossible to get shot from more than one person at the same time. The reason for that is pretty simple. A 1v1 is fairly winnable. As long as you can break down 1v3s into 3 individual 1v1s, you're much more likely to win. It's still not easy to win every single 1v1, but it's much easier than fighting 2 or 3 enemies at the same time. The reason for that is that while you have to deal 150 damage to each of your opponents, they can get away with 2 individual body taps, which is much easier to do than downing multiple enemies in the same amount of time. Other things we'll talk about in this video are building a buffer zone, utilizing boss layers and hard cover, but like I said, the most important thing while 1v3ing is concentrate on trying to isolate 1v1s. As long as you isolate 1v1s, you have a good chance of winning. Alright, but let's jump into some play-by-play commentary. I will show you guys how I clutch, how I behave in clutch situations. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Thank you for watching and see you on the next video. Okay, we are pushing the boss compound here, trying to push the boss layer. Sadly, while doing so, both my teammates go down, and I decided to serpent the bounty here. Sadly, I couldn't get it, so I couldn't get Darkseid. Due to that, and me not knowing where everybody is, I immediately start backing off. I throw a choke bomb down in the mud so they can't follow the same way I went. I start backing off even further, try to create a buffer zone here. My goal here is to kinda line up all my enemies right in front of me. If I would have maintained down there in the mud, it was quite likely that I'm gonna get flanked from multiple directions, which is much harder to defend against. Or basically just keep track of your enemies. I keep backing off here, trying to pull the fight into the forest. The forest has a lot of hard cover and a lot of soft cover. Soft cover means vegetation. It doesn't stop bullets, but it breaks line of sight. Now I spot my first enemy, attack at him. After I got the initial tag, I don't want to get pinned here at the shoreline, so I keep on rotating and try to spot an enemy. Here I take down my first opponent. I don't really play the body, I just keep an eye out if someone else is pushing. But after checking the area for a few seconds and then I don't see anyone, I keep on rotating. I have to progress the fight here. Me holding the body in a 1v2 is not really viable. I need to get at least one other kill here before I can go into aggression. I keep on rotating towards the bodies here. I get another kill on that white shirt. They have the forest now, they might have gone for the revive in there. I can't really stop it because I don't have line of sight. In this moment right here, I decide to go back into the compound and go for revives myself. I'm fairly confident that me and my team can win this fight. On the other hand, I wasn't sure if the last remaining player on the team, got revives in, so I wasn't really sure if I was in a 1v1 or a 1v2. So it was much smarter to go for the revive. Also, I saw earlier that there was a trade token inside the compound, so I could revive my team, do remedy, get our bars back, and basically put ourselves in a much better position than the bounty team. Now that we got the bars back and my teammates are up, we're gonna turn up the aggression here. I'm gonna take the high ground. Doesn't really matter here, the game is basically won at this point. I just like check if anyone is still on the floor. I see the white shirt still on the ground. Take down one of the players with a headshot here from the distance. And we're gonna push and finish the fight. The most important things here that you should remember were once I got into the initial 1v1, I started backing off 50-60 meters. That did basically line up all my enemies in front of me. I created a buffer zone between me and the enemy team. I used all those trees and the vegetation as soft or hard cover to block line of sight or not allow people to shoot me even though they knew where I was. And this kind of like isolating enemies allowed me to like clutch out the fight. Once I had created that distance between me and the enemy team, due to me utilizing the trees, the bushes, just the environment, it was fairly easy for me to like take back-to-back 1v1s. I still have to hit the shots, I still needed to like hit some headshots, but just by positioning myself correctly, I gave myself a much better chance of winning the fight, bringing my team back into the fight, than if I would have just stayed there in the compound and hoped that I just headshot all three of them. In the next clip I want to show you guys how you can turn being in a 1v3 from a disadvantage into an advantage if you play it correctly. Here my teammate Rose sadly went down and got headshotted outside the compound. Now I'm in a 1v3 situation. They're gonna pick up the bounty here in a second and you will see how their mindset will shift quite a bit. They are scanning now, they see that I'm the last player standing, and that will make them play much more aggressive. I used choke bombs here first to block like an annoying angle that I don't want them to push, and then I use the choke bomb to put out Rose so she stops burning and they do not camp the body. Choke bombs can be a very good tool like we saw here to isolate angles that you don't want people to push. Use them kind of like a choke bomb in other games, or to put your teammates out from burning. Now I'm using my consumables here to try to get a sneaky kill. It didn't work, but by me staying active here and getting attacked, the enemy team pushed, and like you can see quite often in those situations when the enemy knows you're the last player standing, it can actually work out in your favor because people will play a little bit more aggressive, kinda arrogant, because they think, oh, it's just the last guy, what is he gonna do? But as long as you stay in an advantageous position from where you can isolate 1v1s, you can turn that into an advantage for you. Doesn't mean you will automatically win the fight when you're in a 1v3, but when you are in a 1v3 scenario, sometimes it's the best idea to just wait a second or two and see what your enemy does, and maybe they will push you. Like you see here, I got the Private Joe by playing it a little bit more passive, but not totally passive. I placed a trap on her, rotate back to the stairs. I don't want to like swing the gate in front, they could be holding it. They decided to keep playing aggressive here. They went for a necro play on the Private Joe, I got her with the trap. I jumped down on the red, take her down with the crowning kick. See the last player by the sliding door, put up the aggression here and snowball off my momentum. Tag him again, I see the B-barrel, shoot the B-barrel, keep dodge spamming him, and the bees do actually finish him. But it doesn't matter how we ended the fight here, it's more about how we began the fight. My teammate went down, instead of like being out there and trying to go for the revive, I decided to like fall back a little bit, go into the lair, let them pick up the bounty, let them realize I am the last player standing, and I do have a shotgun, so I don't mind if they push me, especially with a crowning king, a rival, a terminus with levering, something that can shoot quick and take down enemies at a rapid fire rate. Sometimes it's the best idea to just let the enemy come to you, or at least give them the chance to come to you. Especially by me using choke bombs and putting out my enemy, my teammate. I didn't allow them to play passive. I also used my consumables to apply pressure and keep them engaged in the fight, which ended up with them pushing me, which then allowed me to be in a position from where I can play it out and win the fight. So basically, once you're in a 1v3, there's no shame in playing it a little more passive, and you know, if you're lucky like me here, your enemy team might just be arrogant and think you're the last man standing and just gonna play it overly aggressive, and then you can play off your enemy's mistakes. Okay, in the next match I'm actually playing solos. I was in a fight here, got downed, but once I got downed by one of the teams, another team started third partying, which allowed me to come back here. Now that I'm back, I'm trying to like see if I can maybe get like a sneaky kill to finish off the last team. They should know that I'm back. It's kinda hectic, it's raining, so I'm just trying to like play off the chaos here. I was checking where the boss was. Maybe I could sneak a banishment here to get my bars back. Sadly, it's just too close. It's not possible. So I just decided to like walk up on the winning team and maybe get a kill here. I spot an enemy at the iron gate. Sadly, it is the team that killed me before. So now they do know that I'm a solo who came back. So I have to play that a little bit more careful. They're gonna play much more aggressive, which can work on my favor. But I have to be aware of it. I'm down at 25 bar, so I'm just trying to like see if I can catch somebody off guard here by staying in that position. You know, like you saw in the last game, sometimes people just run it down on you when they know you're solo and they know your current location. Now that I have seen that they are not gonna play aggressive, I decide to fall back into the layer here. From the building, it's much easier for me to control the fight, aka not get flanked from an outside angle. Especially during rain, it is really hard to tell where people are coming from, but in general, it's much better to like play a building in a 1v3 if you have the option to do so. I play some traps here just to not allow them to push me. I took an off angle here, take down the Reaper that killed me before. Now that I've gotten the kill, I slow walk up the stairs here to not make too much noise. Otherwise they might be holding that window here. They're trying for the choke bomb play to like block me from holding the body. Luckily I already was in place to take down one of the enemies. Last person is trying to push me here. I wasn't ready for that. Sadly missed my shot bolt. I immediately fall back. Try to like reset the 1v1 here. Currently I'm trying to figure out where he is. I hear that he's outside the building. I know he has a shotgun as well, so I don't want to play that too aggressive here. I do not want to trade or like risk dying. So I'm just trying to like play the range here. I have a shot bolt, so basically I have the quote-unquote superior one-tap weapon. AKA I can one-tap him from like 60 meters if I want to. He can't. So I'm just trying to like play it safe here, trying to deny the revives, go for some random warbings here, just to apply pressure. As a little tip here, sometimes just going for warbings is a very good play just to keep your enemy from thinking straight. As we saw choke bombs, I kinda knew he was going for the last revive here on his teammate. I already wanted to like rotate here. I knew he was playing the bodies here the way he rotated before. I take him out while he's going for the revive. He thought he's outsmarted me by throwing the choke bombs there. Sadly I was ready for it already, or luckily I was ready for it, and finished the fight here. But the important thing here is that once I realized that I cannot get a sneaky kill on somebody by them playing aggressive, I fell back into the building from where I was able to isolate 1v1s again and kinda control the fight. Due to me being inside the building and having multiple doors to hold, they didn't really want to push me. They knew I had a shot bolt, and that allowed me to finish the fight. And even though I was in a disadvantage while even being down a bar, I could still quote-unquote dictate how the fight is going to go, because they had no real opportunity to actually push me or basically fight on their terms. So what you want to take away from this fight is that even though buildings can be stressful and chaotic, this kind of chaos and all those choke points can really work out in your advantage to isolate 1v1s. And also buildings provide great hard cover, so if you have the option to clutch from inside a building, I would honestly try to do so. Unless you have like a Mosin or something and can play the range.
Good.
In the last clip, I'm gonna show you guys what to do when you are like in a 1v1. We just finished the supposedly last team on the server. Sadly, someone else rolled up and killed Rose while we were looting bodies.
Oh, here. Doors just opened. Did they?
I couldn't really tell where he was. I didn't do like a good 360. He was on the roof above me. And now that I am in a disadvantageous position here, I'm just throwing the bees here and trying to back off. I don't want to stay down there because if I get tagged, it's quite easy for him, while having the high ground, to basically bully me. And he is easily able to like control the fight from the high ground since he can peek me when he wants to. But if I tag him, he can just fall back into hard cover, and unless I hit a headshot, it's just a shit position to be in. I thought that he was the last player of one of the remaining teams, so I started burning the only person that made sense to me here and start taking the 1v1. I tag him on the roof by peeking the left window here, check out where the other banishment just happened. Something important while being in a 1v1 is to never re-peek the same angle twice. Like you see here, I peek the next window, but I do not hold it. I just peek the window, check where he is, go back, check the other window, just trying to get an idea where he's playing from now. I don't see him holding the roof at all. I thought I saw like a beetle there in the sky, but I didn't. I loot the body here. It's a little bit risky, but I needed the information to see where he is. I saw that he was still on the roof, weirdly enough. Take an off angle here by the boat. Tag him once. I should have honestly killed him here, but it doesn't matter. Now that I tagged him, I use the dynamite to immediately continue pushing here, so he starts running and gives up on the roof. I really don't want him to play the roof here. While doing so, I just keep the aggression going here. Going for Rose on the revive here doesn't make sense. And since I kept the aggression up and took the roof away from him, I could immediately take him out. I thought for a second that it was a solo here, but honestly it just wasn't. His teammates were like coming from the other banishment. I apply the burn here, reload my doge and prepare for another 1v2. Like I already said, like having the high ground in 1v1s, 1v2s or in any kind of fight can be very advantageous, since you get to decide when the fight starts happening. Like I have to peek into the enemy from the high ground to start the fight. Now I'm just jumping around trying to avoid getting randomly headshotted while listening for footsteps. I hear him in the mud down there, takes a peek on him, take him out as well. I'm still trying to find out if there's any other teammate. Basically me just jumping around on the roof. Nobody shot at me, I don't hear anything either. So I'm just going for the revive on Rose here. It seems like the smartest play. I'm basically telling her, you guys can't hear it, that once she gets up, just go inside, grab the bounty and, you know, do a scan. While doing so, the last guy revived the bearman, or the fake bearman. I take him out with a nice headshot here. I know that it's not like that easy to do.
Yeah, it's the last guy.
Then once I'm again in a 1v1, especially since I know he's down a bar, I just keep the aggression up here. I know that the last person is down a bar, so I don't want him to reset, especially the way he played before. I just keep the aggression up. I don't want him to like do a necromancer or like some weird shenanigans like that. And I finish the fight. But the important part here is that when I was in the initial 1v1, I kept on rotating my angles to always be the first one to get the shot on somebody. And once I got the tag on him, I didn't let go of that aggression. I just kept on pressuring him until he eventually crumbled, did a mistake and allowed me to kill him. Especially once you're in those 1v1s, never let the pressure go once you established pressure like I did here. You know, I played it fairly passive, fell back into the layer, re-peeked different windows until I got some tags on him. And then once I did get said tags, I just kept on pushing, bullying, until I eventually put him in the dust. It was my little clutch tutorial, clutch guide. I hope this all makes sense to you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comments. But thank you again for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video. Have a good one and bye bye.